Welcome to the FemTech Delights podcast. I'm Sefi Edman, and I'm thrilled to share my passion for FemTech with you. So, hello everyone. This is Sefi Edman, and welcome to our podcast, the FemTech podcast. And with us today, we have a very special guest, Nikki Berridge. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Yes, Berridge.
Good, Berridge. That's great. How are you today?
Good. Yeah. I mean, the sun is trying to peek through. It's not raining here, so that's always a plus, isn't it?
Right. Great. You know, this podcast talks about femtech, health tech, wellness issues. And I thought that what you're doing with How Am I, your new app, is very relevant to our topic of femtech. So first of all, before we even hear what How I Am is, which is an interesting name, tell us a little bit about your story, why you decided one day to just, create an app.
Well, me and my partner, we started years ago, actually, working with the young age group through an organization called Celebration Day for Girls. And so we were working with premenarche, so those that hadn't started their periods yet, so 10 to 12-year-olds. So we were working with them and their female carers. And so there was just a real passion to serve the young people, really, of today. And we're parents ourselves. We both have teenage daughters. And we just loved working with this age group. You know, they were so young and just absolutely sucking up this knowledge that we were giving them, teaching them about it, before it happens, because in the UK, they only get one lesson at school, and we don't know.
And if you miss the lesson, then you don't know anything about it.
Right, exactly. And they're starting younger and younger. I mean, 9 years of age. I just heard someone yesterday saying no one told her, and she started bleeding, and it was such a shock until she went home and told her mum, and then. But gosh, that shock must have been so scary for her. So
sure,
we're really passionate about, first of all, serving this demographic. But also then we sort of reached into the potential of, this relationship that lasts 40 years of your life. And who teaches you that that's a relationship worth investing in? And when do you want to start having that relationship? Is it when you get pregnant or want babies or think about contraception? Or should it be right from the get-go, when you're not...
It's a kind of topic where people just don't talk about. Maybe you talk about it with your best friend or something like that, right? You don't even talk it with other women, with other girls. It's just like a topic you don't talk about. It's like, shh, don't talk about it.
I mean, It's absolutely surrounded in shame and secrecy, which I know as an older woman, but it's really shocking to see that still in the young. I suppose the female carers haven't even looked at it themselves. So there's a whole undoing to kind of make the bed in the way we would like the bed to be made, so that this sort of core relationship can start from the very beginning, which informs everything about your lived experience, really. This process goes on inside you. It's so fundamental. And so if we could start at that age, which is why we decided to design an app, we actually wrote a book, because we really noticed that actually, you can be taught the biology of it, but actually your lived experience of how you relate to the fluctuations in your hormones and how that affects your energy levels, your cognitive, your brain chemistry, that's not taught. And that's something that needs to be practiced over a long period of time. So it's like, looking after this relationship.
The book you mentioned, is it the books people can buy? They can buy it, or... We
printed a few, so they kind of got gold dust, hard copies. But actually, what we realized was people forgot, people didn't take a pen up to bed and then they didn't want to go and get a pen. So the book format wasn't working. But the need was still there to clock your emotional state. So, and also with the demographic that we're looking at, in order to reach them all, we needed to make it very accessible. So,
and people don't read that much these days. So
don't read. No,
they want something quick and easy.
Exactly.
Yes, so I understand why you're focusing now on apps. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the interface with technology can be so much more playful. It's, we can learn off YouTube now. Even teachers have whiteboards and they're teaching in video format. So we're taking it away from that sort of plain text background. And so we're able to really use the immersive technology that's out there to make this, to meet this objective, which is just laying that foundation of it's okay to get to know yourself. It's really important to get to know yourself as a cycling human being,
So what exactly is the app? That's the name of it is How Am I, right? That's the name of it.
Yeah.
But what does it do? What if I download it, what will I get out of it?
Okay, so it's basically full permission to ask how am I each day, because I think the thing with the menstrual cycle is it's so changeable. You're always juggling what's happening in life as well as what's going on inside you. So it's not a quick fix. It needs to be a long practiced relationships. And that's where the mindfulness comes in. So what we've done is designed a really beautiful therapeutic journey, harnessing all the latest technology, which shows us that avatars, for example, helps people relate to themselves. There's lots of beautiful evidence that avatars are really helping people clock their health. And so we take them through a journey where they would know what cycle day they're on, where their ovulation is roughly, where their bleed is roughly, and what season they're in. So we talk about whole cycle awareness. And so as in everyday matters, there's all the in-betweens. It's not just when am I going to bleed? There's all these other beautiful parts of the cycle that we think should be in the psyche of the user.
So it's the whole month? It's like something which you can kind of write about the whole month? Okay.
It's like a daily journal. It's like a daily check-in. How am I today? And it's very, it's about 2 or 3 minutes to check in. And then after that, you will be choosing what your avatar is wearing, depending on how you're feeling. So you've got this beautiful pro-choice and sort of exploration of how am I feeling and how am I showing this within my picture. So the avatar sits on a seasonal background, which is the model that we teach about. The cycle has 4 different phases. And so we teach about the seasons.
It's different. Every season is a little different.
Yeah. So winter, spring, summer, autumn. So it's a model that's understood and used, but it's particularly useful when you're thinking about energy levels and your psychological, the parts of you, your emotional self, really. And then they get this cycle picture. So every day they'll have a picture. And that's where the gold dust is because, and it's all going to be private on their platform. It's not data that we're going to hack later. This is all absolutely owned by the user.
So other people on the app, they don't see it?
No, they don't see it.
So just for themselves, like to just express what's happening with you today?
Absolutely. And then when you have this cycle library, you can look at day 22. Yeah, my energy is a bit low. Sometimes I get a headache. So that will inform me to drink some more water on that day.
Okay, I see. So because things are every month, they kind of sometimes repeat themselves. Things repeat themselves. And this way you can, they can kind of be more aware of what's happening to themselves. I see.
Exactly. So as you progress the usage, you will be able to have this cycle library, but you can show it, Sefi, to other people. So you could go to a healthcare professional and say, if
you want to show to friends or something like that.
Absolutely, show to friends, show to parents, show to work colleagues.
Okay, wow, that would be quite a revolution. That would be revolutionary to show it to co-workers. Yeah,
exactly. In the future.
Wow.
Don't give me those tasks today, but tomorrow I'm going to be all over those tasks. My brain chemistry is different tomorrow.
So you're changing actually the conversation. It's like, listen, I'm a woman. I'm going through all kinds of things related to my body. Just pay attention to that. That's a whole new conversation. I mean, we never had that kind of conversation before.
No, it's massive. And that's where the passion really comes in. It's quite simple. The solution that we're saying is just have this relationship, because there's lots of other apps out there that are helping when you have a problem, or perhaps you want to increase, physical activity, or you want to hone in on what you're putting in your body and your diet. But actually, what we're saying is just fundamentally inviting that question, how am I in relation to my menstrual cycle each day, it's so valuable and powerful. I was thinking about this word powerful today. Power is such a funny word, isn't it? My relationship to power has always been, oh, it's a horrible, like dominant, like rigid thing. And actually so that's power over. So what we're inviting is through empowerment with How Am I is power from within. So you feel powerful because actually you can stand and be captain of your life because you know how you are each day. You're clocking that, you're noticing those patterns, and you're able to integrate that then into your life.
Well, I'm still thinking about the workplace. It's just would be really an amazing kind of conversation. Let's say, I'm not talking about women, but let's say they share it with men. Like men would be speechless in the beginning. I would think they would be speechless because they don't experience what we're experiencing. And then you're like showing it to them in their face, and they also have to deal with it. So it's interesting because it's not only how I'm dealing and related to other women, but also the conversation between women and men also change, which is interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's the social impact, isn't it? It's the breaking of the taboos and the shame, and actually, if we talk about gender equality, we need to understand what's going on in each other's bodies, first of all. Yeah. And then we can actually honor the diversity that happens. But at the moment, the female experience is so it's not even on the map,
Right.
So we feel like if individuals can be empowered and take management of themselves and know how they are, then you're really changing the conversation so that gender equality can happen very naturally. But at the moment, we haven't got the muscle, we haven't got the emotional intelligence, we haven't practiced.
Wow.
Integrating that, before we then bring it into society. But I think society is ready. They're ready for it. We all want we want diversity, inclusion, equality. So,
but people have to understand like what we're going through. Okay, people need to understand. I mean, we have to understand what we're going through, and then others as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And men want to. The fathers that I teach, I do a lovely Father's Day course. They want to know what's going on for their teenage daughters.
Right. Wow.
They love the course. They love it. And they go away and they go, I understand. Okay. So she's really teary and actually I don't need to fix anything. She just needs to express herself and needs a hug.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Very, simple sort of acceptance of what is and allowing those emotional fluctuations to be valuable and to be valid in life.
So it seems like there's a real need for this. I mean, it's not something that there are all kinds of apps and technologies related to women, but this is really something where a woman can just express herself, not just help her physically, but really express herself, which is really really unique. So what does the future look like for users of How Am I? Like what are your plans? When will it be available?
So we have just partnered up with a wonderful company who is going to validate and test our process that we've designed, because we've had great interest in the NHS, who can see the need for this and want to fill the gap. But also, especially in the UK, the education now, the PSHE in secondary school, it actually stipulates that the emotional, not just the biological implications of the menstrual cycle need to be addressed. So that's coming. So I think to roll it out to as many people as possible, we're in this process of validating. Then when we know that that's definitely working and doing what we want it to do, we're going to go on to build that. And then we're going to roll it out through the NHS educational institutes, but also we really want young people to just want to do this. So that'll be the marketing and the community building.
Wow. So how can people now join the community? Is there already a community?
There is a community, and every vote counts, Sefi, because when we're saying to people, this needs to happen, as another menstruator yourself, we can see the need, but a lot of people and a lot of men, unfortunately, do still hold the purse strings. They still need the case to be validated. So they still, right. So yeah, if we have numbers and we can say, yes, people are interested in the emotional side of the menstrual cycle, that would really help us. So yeah, you can join our community on our website. We've got Instagram, Facebook, and we're just about to start TikTok, which is great.
Okay, so let's say on Instagram, what are your just people should look up How Am I and they'll find you?
Yes, they will. Yeah. How Am I? All one word. But on the website as well, you can join the community. It just has a little thing at the top. And even if you don't have a young person that's menstruating, or you're just a woman that knows the importance of this, or a dad, or anyone, just come in, put your hand up, give us some fuel so that we can continue and, get this validation and get this built.
So I'm going to tell my 3 daughters who are still in that age range. I'm going to tell them. They'll probably say, well, how should I present it? What should I say to them? If I want to tell them to look at the website or Instagram, what should I tell them? What's like the one or 2 sentences I should tell them? They don't want to listen to me, but what should I say? So it will be attractive and people will kind of understand it's really for them.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say, look, you have got a female body, you've got a menstrual cycle, you're going to have it for this many years. If you use this app, it's a really simple way to start to land how you feel and become captain of your own ship, so that you can validate your feelings, you can understand yourself, and then you can show up and do what you're going to do in life with a full tank. That self-knowledge is absolutely key. And it's a very simple, mindful practice that they can just try. And then hopefully, Sefi, once they're on it, they'll be like, well, hey, this is fun. Cool. Right. Yeah. Because the interface is such fun.
I'm definitely going to send them the links. We'll also put the links on the podcast so people will easily enter and check it out. So thank you very much. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and I look forward to see what your next the app. I'm looking forward to see the app actually.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for your time, Sefi.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.